Sal Paolantonio, part of a great team with NFL Countdown. He also does NFL Matchup. Got a great stocking stuffer for you. The Philly special that Sal wrote, the inside story of how the Philadelphia Eagles won their first Super Bowl championship, and NFL Countdown. All 3 hours from Philly coming up this weekend. Sal, welcome to the program. How's morale in Philadelphia?
Super high. People are really excited about this game. You come off back-to-back walk-off wins, and that'll get the juices flowing. It's Dallas week. The hate will ooze out of the woodwork about 1 a.m. Sunday morning and continue to flow all the way into the afternoon.
What's this game going to come down to, in your opinion?
3 things, Dan. Turnovers, stop Ezekiel Elliott. Eagles got to hold on to the football. You go back to October, Dan, the Eagles turned the ball over 3 times. That would be number 11, Carson Wentz. If your quarterback turns the ball over 3 times on the road, you're burnt toast. You're done. That's a huge problem that he's had and continues to have. I talked to him about it yesterday. He's got 7 lost fumbles.
Yeah.
That leads all quarterbacks who have started 15 games this year. So he knows it's a big problem. The team knows it. I don't think they're tough enough on him, Dan, about it. I really don't. I follow this team very closely. You know that. I think they got to get harder with him. Something's got to give because he's just not learning to protect the ball and himself in the pocket. He holds on to it too long.
Yeah.
He's got one hand on it instead of 2. He needs to evacuate the pocket. He doesn't do it. His QBR outside the pocket is 3rd best in the NFL. There's no reason for him not to get out of the pocket. You've seen him throw it on the run. He's very accurate, super strong arm. The fumbles have to stop. Fumbles the ball against the Cowboys on Sunday. A, he's going to hear a cascade of boos. B, the Eagles are going to lose the game.
But do you think there's some trepidation, consciously or subconsciously, about getting outside the pocket with what happened in that Rams game when he got injured?
Well, in that Rams game, he ran for it.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is he's got to roll out. I've been talking about this all year long on the matchup show. Look at what Stefanski and Kubiak have been doing with Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. Kirk is not a runner, but they do a great job of rolling him out, quote unquote. Here comes some football jargon. You ready for it, Dan?
Yep.
Moving the platform, Dan.
Ooh.
That's what you got to do. Move the platform.
Not move the pocket. You're moving the platform now.
Platform, the launch point. Correct.
Who comes up with these? It feels like every year there's a football term that we throw out there. Like setting the edge, the A-gap.
High pointing the football is the one that drives me nuts.
Do you want to explain the high point of the football?
It means you go up and get it.
Exactly. I like how he's great in space, oily hip.
Everybody, hey Dan.
Yeah.
Me and you, we're great in space.
No, I'm good in space. I've never been great in space. And the vertical passing game. Most passing games need to be vertical, I believe, but we just keep adding words. We're like the NFL when it comes to rules. They just keep adding verbiage to it as if it's going to make it any better. Oh, by the way, what did you think when Jerry Jones's son came out and said, we're probably going to get rid of review of pass interference calls in the offseason? What'd you make of that?
Well, I was in Scottsdale when they had the coup d'etat. Remember, the competition committee came out at first and said, no go, we're not going to do this. And then Sean Payton and John Harbaugh said, uno momento, we really want this. We saw what happened in the NFC Championship game. We want it. They went to Goodell, and Roger Goodell implored the competition committee to take another look at it, and Al Riveron and company, and they did. And they held their nose through the process, and you see the result. Yeah. What's the result? Pass interference that New York does not want to overturn. Now, whether that's pejorative or not, there's a term for you.
Whoa.
Whether that's punitive or not.
Whoa.
Yeah, whether that's just them saying, hey, you know what? We're gonna call it, and the coaches are gonna have to like it, or some kind of arbitrary decision making that's pretty hardcore conservative. I don't know the answer to that. You're just going to have to give Al Riveron some truth serum and try to find out. But nothing's being overturned, and the result is that the coaches didn't win because they're not getting their way.
Do you think Jason Garrett's coaching for his job this weekend?
Dan, I'm going to punt on that one. I'm just not close enough to the situation to make a really strong point about it. I think there's a lot of pressure, not on Jason Garrett, to do the following: to get his young offensive coordinator to call running plays. If they run the ball effectively with Ezekiel Elliott, they will win the game. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott owns the Eagles, right? You know the numbers. I'll give them to you anyway. He's averaging 114.8 yards per game against the Eagles. That's the best of any running back against the Eagles all time. Better than Dorsett, better than Emmett. Both of those guys are in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
Yeah.
So Elliott owns the Eagles. So he ought to touch the ball in the passing game and the running game 30 to 35 times in the football game.
If he gets 115 yards rushing, Dallas wins?
Yes. Short answer, yes. I do believe so. The Eagles have got to do something about Elliott in this game. And right now, even though they're ranked third against the rush, that's a misleading stat. Go back and look at the last couple of games on film. They had problems without Camus Grugier-Hill not playing in the game. He's their best sideline-to-sideline tackler. You look at Nigel Bradham. He always over-pursues on outside zone read runs, which is a Cowboys staple. I'm giving you real XO stuff here, Dan. I'm sorry. I apologize. But, if you want to get into the nuts and bolts and the schematics of it, why have the Cowboys had success? They double-team Cox, and they get to the quote-unquote second level, and you look around and Bradham's not there. He's out of position. And Hill is injured now. And that's why the Cowboys have had success. It's going to be up to the Eagles to figure out a way to really crowd the box. Now, let's give the obvious point, which is this. If Dak Prescott is hurt, limited in any way, or gets hurt in the game, it'll be a challenge for the Cowboys to run.
Sal, it's great to talk to you as always. Have fun this weekend. Give our best to Ed Werder, and Sunday NFL Countdown originates all 3 hours from Philadelphia this weekend. And also pick up the book in paperback now, Philly Special, the inside story of how the Eagles won their first Super Bowl championship. Thank you, Sal.
Happy holidays,
You
Dan.
too, buddy. That's Sal Paolantonio there.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.